All right, for this week, to wrap it up, we are going to be doing a combined ranking and theory of the week. So I'm going to be doing a theory. This is a theory, but it's going to be ranking the possibilities from least likely to most likely. And this is something you've read the title of the clip or the title of the episode of the podcast that I think is going to be answered fairly well. No, I shouldn't say that, because the MCU shows have had this thing where they introduce a mystery and then don't answer it until the last episode, and then by that point it's just disappointing. So again, for what it's worth, I don't know if this theory is going to be addressed until like episode 8 of She-Hulk. We're talking about a lot of She-Hulk, by the way, in this episode, but that's fine. It's the big show that's out right now. And Rings of Power didn't enjoy it. So, we're talking about She-Hulk. But I wanted to talk about that little thing at the end of episode 3 where the Wrecking Crew come and they're looking for her blood. Now, as we know, obviously in this show, and also in The Incredible Hulk as well, Hulk blood is very dangerous. And it is also very powerful. Given to the right person, I think that and used in a sinister or a usually sinister way, Hulk blood can be very powerful. And so I think it's very interesting to point out the fact that we don't know who wants her blood and what for. And I have 7 possibilities here. I think there are more. I've left a few off the list, but I think these are the 7 most likeliest possibilities for who would want She-Hulk's blood from least likely to most likely. And like I said, I think that some of the possibilities are a little bit more out there, but I do think there is an answer. So it's not like I'm saying, well, I think number 1 is the most likely, but I don't know. I think number 1 is the answer. I'm very confident in that. But again, I want to go from number 7 to number 1 and just kind of talk about why each of these different characters might want She-Hulk's blood. I can't believe that's a sentence, by the way, I'm saying. But here we are. It is what it is. So, possibilities of who might want She-Hulk's blood. Number 7, Daredevil. Why? I have no idea. But he's in the show, maybe for an extended period of time, or maybe just for episode 4. We'll find out soon. But because he's in the show, I have to include him, right? Like, it's a big deal. And I don't know why he'd want her blood, maybe to heal his eyesight or something, I don't know. But it's a possibility that I think exists, and therefore I will include that, I guess. So Daredevil is number 7. I don't think it's Daredevil, but he's in the show. Number 6 is his counterpart, which is, I think, a little bit more likely, though I don't know why, maybe to heal his eyesight, is Kingpin. I don't know why Hulk blood would heal Kingpin's eyesight after being shot in the face by Echo and Hawkeye, but maybe it's Kingpin. And if that's the case, then yeah, I think it's likely. I just don't know how that works, but they could explain it away like that, and I would be like, okay, I guess, sure, I buy that. So I think Kingpin is more likely to have a crew like the Wrecking Crew, and they're very similar to the Tracksuit Mafia, in how dumb they are. So I mean, again, for what that's worth, they were very, very similar to the Tracksuit Mafia and Hawkeye. And I could see Kingpin maybe even wanting to broker the blood for someone else who could be on this list. I don't know. But again, little unclear why he would want the blood. But I think it's at least more likely than Daredevil. Number 5 is Val. I think that with the Thunderbolts coming up and with Abomination's presumed inclusion in the Thunderbolts, maybe. Maybe she would send out Baron Zemo to get the blood. I don't know, or U.S. agent. So I'm gonna just lump all those characters together. Potential Thunderbolts members, Yelena Belova, whoever else is there. I think it's possible that Val would want the blood for something, whether or not it's to, I don't know, heal somebody or make somebody else a Hulk or something like that. I don't know. And again, I'm also not precluding the fact that these characters on this list are working together. Like, for example, Valentina and Kingpin are working together, or Val and another member on this list are working together to get the blood. I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm just saying that on their own, this is the list that I have so far. And I think that Val, well, a possibility. Again, it's a little unclear to me why she would want the blood, but who knows? Might be. Number 4 is a possibility that a lot of people have been talking about, that frankly I'm not buying as much, but it's the leader. And the only reason people bring the leader up is because, oh, in the comics, the leader is a big Hulk villain, blah, 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 and we saw him in the Incredible Hulk get his powers. I'd like to remind everybody that that was, that was 14 years ago that we last saw the leader. And Tim Blake Nelson, who plays the leader, I don't know, does he have any interest in coming back as the leader? Maybe they could recast him like Ross Marquand as the Red Skull, maybe. Again, I'm just not quite buying that, not quite buying the fact that Tim Blake Nelson will want to come back as the leader, or even if the leader character even makes sense in this case. I don't know, maybe. And there were rumors that the leader would be used later on in the MCU after the Incredible Hulk. And who knows? I mean, they brought Emil Blonsky back, after 13 years in Shang-Chi. So it's possible. I'm putting it higher on the list because he is a Hulk villain, I guess. Still not that convinced, though. But again, we'll see. So number 4 is the leader. Number 3, most likely, is Titania. I think that Titania is obviously a character that's coming back, has been confirmed to be in at least episodes 5 and 6, I think, and probably throughout the rest of the series, although it could be a giant red herring and she might just disappear and die or go to prison after that, so who knows? But again, I think that there's just so little is known about Titania, but also so much is known of the fact that she is a big player in this series, that it's very possible that it's Titania who wants the blood for something. We don't know anything about her backstory. We don't know anything about who she is, what she wants. So again, it's very possible that she could be wanting the blood for something of her own. So we'll see about that. Number 2 is Emil Blonsky / Abomination. I think that this perhaps is more likely because he has dealt in things like super soldier serums and Hulk before, and the Hulk blood, either A, he might think could cure him. I think if you look at this Hulk blood as a cure, it's possible because Smart Hulk was able to cure his arm, based on She-Hulk's blood. So I think that that's possible. Or you could look at it maybe as him looking at it as an enhancer, maybe, talking about like, and I don't know, enhancing his abilities or something like that. It's entirely possible that that's what's going on there. I think also the fact that Emil Blonsky's case is done, I don't think this is the last you're going to see from him. Like we talked about earlier in the podcast about how he has confirmed that he has a scene with Mark Ruffalo. And again, not only does that mean that Mark Ruffalo is returning probably, but also that Emil Blonsky is returning in the series. So whatever his role is going to end up being, I'm sure he's going to play a bigger role later on in the Thunderbolts, but he might want the blood for himself or maybe for someone else, because coming in at number 1, and I believe that this is the answer, this is the person who wants She-Hulk's blood, is Thunderbolt Ross. Now, I know, rest in peace, that William Hurt has passed away. And so, that actor, unless they CGI, but I don't think they will, is not returning to the MCU. However, the movie is still called The Thunderbolts. And I think it is still going to be operating under whatever his plan was, or whatever it was. And he did look very sickly. I think real life aside, he did look very sickly in Black Widow, and that was pointed out by Natasha, I think, a couple times. I think that we were heading towards the direction of a Red Hulk, potentially, and at the very least, Thunderbolt Ross being sort of the Nick Fury of the Thunderbolts, with Val, by his side, that kind of thing. I think now that, obviously, sadly, that William Hurt has passed on, that it will just be Val in charge of the Thunderbolts. But I think that if anybody wants the Hulk blood to cure himself or to help, his ailments and things like that, I think it would be Thunderbolt Ross. And I think this would lead very, very well into the Thunderbolts movie. I think that it would be interesting if Thunderbolt Ross, Emil Blonsky leaves prison and he's living his own peaceful life, and then Thunderbolt Ross comes up to him and says, hey, look, I need you back in commission. We need the Hulk blood. I need the Hulk blood. And, we kind of go from there. I think it's pretty clear that it's Thunderbolt Ross. Now, like I said, it could be any combination of these characters. For example, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that it's Thunderbolt Ross working with Val to hire Emil Blonsky to get the blood, and the leader is also trying to get the blood, and Titania is getting the blood. It could be all of them, for all I know. But I think that on their own, if you were going to ask me individual possibilities of who wants She-Hulk's blood, I think that Thunderbolt Ross, to me, is the most likeliest of the possibilities that I presented here. on this list. So from least likely to most likely, we have Daredevil, Kingpin, Val, the Leader, Titania, Emil Blonsky, Abomination, and Thunderbolt Ross. Those are who I think most likely would be wanting to get She-Hulk's blood. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys think that those are possibilities, or if you guys think that there's another possibility that I forgot to mention, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I've seen some wild theories, like Maestro, the Hulk version, the old Hulk version who came back from the future into the past. Why? I don't know, but I've seen that, so it exists. And again, I think that I think it's likely it's one of these 7. But if it's not, I'm sure that there's going to be good story reason for that as well. It's going to be a whole another year of speculation of, is it Kingpin? Is it not Kingpin? Is it Kang? Is it not Kang? Is it Mephisto? Is it not Mephisto? Frankly, I'm a little tired of that kind of stuff because, again, I just want to be happy with whatever the show gives us, but also it's fun to speculate. So, and I think that this show, more than any of the other shows, will have serious Thunderbolts implications, and I'm excited about that.